Ladies and gentlemen, fresh from knocking off then #1 Virginia, the Maryland Terrapins are a team hitting their stride just in time for Big Ten play. Penn State ready to take on the Terps, possibly adding another top 10 scalp to their collection. Today, the Nittany Lions of Penn State, they're on the prowl inside SECU Stadium for a clash with Maryland, a rivalry renewed for Lacrosse on Big Ten Network. Here comes the home team. It is great to see you again. Along with Mark Dixon, I'm Joe Beninati. It's a pleasure to open Big Ten lacrosse play this afternoon. The teams have gone through 7 weeks of non-conference play. What are your first impressions of the teams in the Big Ten?
From top to bottom, I think the Big Ten is stronger than ever. Last year's tournament teams, Maryland, Ohio State, and Rutgers have already scored huge out-of-conference victories. Hopkins, Penn State, and Michigan all were ranked at one point. Hopkins is top 10 right now. Penn State is in that top 10 area after that upset loss to Marquette, and Michigan much improved. So top to bottom, never been better.
These two teams are loaded with headliners at both ends of the field. For Penn State on offense, TJ Malone will conduct matters.
And TJ Malone, the heir apparent to Grant Ament a couple of years ago, has just been beset by injuries through his career, but they're so glad to have him back in Happy Valley. He's an excellent finisher on the inside. He can beat you with feeds, and he can also win a matchup and take you one-on-one to the cage and score. TJ Malone, the leader of this rejuvenated Penn State offense.
For Maryland, Brett Makar, he definitely rules the defensive end of the field.
And Makar, the All-American for Maryland, he is the bell cow for the strength of this Maryland team. Wearing the #1, that coveted #1 jersey, first defensive player to get that honor. Discipline, toughness, he's great off of the ground. He's terrific at causing turnovers. And in addition to his incredible ability, he's also the enforcer of this Maryland defense, and he's not afraid to get in the face of opposing offensive players.
An intimidator for sure. As we introduce you to the netminders for the contest, Penn State's going to send Jack Frassian to the crease, a first-year full-time starter with a unique style.
He's very unorthodox, but he's provided stability to a position that was inconsistent and streaky at best in 2022.
Meanwhile, the Terps, they lost outstanding Logan McNaney to injury in week 2. Freshman Brian Rupel, he's jumped in to be the super sub.
Nothing like getting your first career start, finding out about it minutes before face-off. That's what Rupel did against Princeton, a Maryland victory. He was introduced to the lacrosse world last weekend. 3 critical overtime saves against Virginia that have made the rounds on social media and throughout lacrosse. Rupel plays beyond his years.
Maryland edging Virginia 14-13 in overtime in Charlottesville. John Tillman, the bench boss for the Terps, he pointed out to Dixie that it was great for his team to get off to a good start. That was the key to the victory over Virginia. As we get set for action today, the officials Joe Cieslak, Brendan Lehane, and David Mueller presiding over this Big Ten matchup, a top 10 matchup. Maryland ranked #2 in the land, Penn State #9, each of them sporting a record of 5-2. Big Ten lacrosse in the spring of 2023 is off and running. Luke Weirman to draw for Maryland. Chase Mullins for Penn State. The visiting Nittany Lions in the blue get the first possession.
Yeah, Mullins wins it clean behind him to his wing. That is another area. You're going to hear that throughout our show today, Joe. The improvement, that word improvement for Ohio State. Penn State 3-11 last year. Mullins, a transfer from North Carolina, has really given him a shot in the arm at the face-off dot.
Makar picks up Malone, our marquee matchup from the top of the show. Malone off of a 2-goal, 5-assist performance in a disappointing loss to Marquette. The 5 helpers was a career best. Halfway through the shot clock, Kevin Winkoff's a grad student, a transfer in from Binghamton University. Costin lets this one fly. Matt Costin missed the mark. It'll stay Penn State possession.
I like how Penn State's keeping it hot, trying different matchups. This is an offense that John Haas has done a great job with.
Malone turns a corner, fires and scores! TJ Malone.
missed all of last year with a leg injury. TJ Malone, this is almost a carbon copy of the goal that he scored in our open. The video off of the restart, uses the pick, and just establishes position against Makar. Look how he runs upfield, right there. Gets away from the potential for Makar to deliver a low slap check on his bottom hand. Great goal by TJ Malone.
Terps get the ensuing draw. Possession coming up for the guys in white. Ajax Zapatello, outstanding close defender, will bring it along. Top of the screen, you see how Penn State's been producing offensively. This Maryland squad, a deep arsenal of offensive talents. Playmaking, Kyle Long out there, shifting with Jack Corus and Jack Brennan, the top midfield unit for Maryland here on home turf. Urksa gets topside. Long rolling back. Defended there by the short stick work of Grant Hawes.
It's the Maryland offense still figuring out how to play after the graduation of Logan Wisnauskas, Keegan Kahn, Jonathan Donville, Anthony DeMeo. A lot of weapons, but this is still very potent Maryland offense.
That's all. This snapshot from Brennan that goes wide, backed up on the end line by Braden Urksa. Closest to the ball where and when it leaves the field on a shot. Gets possession. It'll stay that way for Maryland. Urksa works in against Sweeney. He's stopped there by Frassian, who shrugged his shoulder in the nick of time.
Well, that's the unorthodox style of Frassian. We can see him leave his feet. Did a great job of hugging the post. That is going to be, since it hit Frassian and it goes out of bounds, the Penn State player was out of bounds, so he takes himself out of the play, which means when the ball actually went beyond the purple line here at SECU Stadium, that means Maryland gets the ball because the Penn State player is out of bounds playing it illegally.
Spanos shares with Owen Murphy. Murphy 5 times this season with the multi-point performance. Kicking it off for Zach Whittier. Whittier gets to the alley and draws a quick double team. Sweeney there along with Hawes. Urksa has the shorty.
Grant Hawes, great check. Chambroni told us this week.
Whittier turns, that's off the outside of the cage.
He told us Grant Hawes loves that early jam and slap. He did that on Whittier. Maryland's midfielders are going to have to adjust to Hawes' aggressive style.
Always important stick protection at this end. Urksa finds the open man, and Frassian gets over there quickly on Daniel Kelly. They dig for it on the end line. It comes up Nittany Lions.
Wow, what a nifty little flip there from Mark Sickler, an offensive midfielder turned into a defensive specialist.
Failed clear, gives the ball back to Maryland. Daniel Maltz wears 37 in the white. Better than 100 points in his career in College Park.
Those are killers, Joe. You just played about 90 seconds, you know, a minute and some, minute 45 of defense, and then you fail to clear. Giving these second chance possessions to Maryland could prove harmful.
Brennan fakes. Face dodge move. Parnham there digging in defensively. 55 in blue. Chorus inverted, the midfielder below goal line. Shot clock at 40. Long on the run, had that deflected. Backed up by Urksa. He'll go over the top. Maltz lets it go. Frassian another save. Mark him down for 3 early on in the contest.
Crease violation against Chorus. Tremendous defensive stand for Penn State. Not only to repel the Maryland attack, 3 great saves from Frassian, but Maryland was able to rotate their first and second midfield units on those possessions. So first midfield unit got 2 runs, the second unit got 1. So Penn State, some tired legs, they get the better of Maryland during that defensive sequence.
Ethan Long sharing the ball for Jake Morin, 21-year-old junior. Morin waiting for subs to come off of Jeff Tambroni's bench, namely Luke Mercer rounding out that midfield trio. Against Dante Trader, short stick defensive mid for Maryland. Mercer swings it back behind for Malone against Makar. Trader digging in defensively. Will Peden wears 12 in the blue, getting a started attack today. Force feed to the inside. Rupel has the easy handle there. His outlet pass is on time for Zappatello.
Yeah, Ethan Long, mostly a feeding midfielder. You can see Maryland backing off of him and gave him that feeding lane.
McDonald closing, snapped it high. Bottom of the screen, you're seeing Maryland's starting lineup today. 5-2 Terps taking on Frassian and the 5-2 Nittany Lions. Big Ten Conference opener.
All new starters at attack, Joe. Owen Murphy was a starter last year along with Nauskas and Kahn. He is now, with the ball, playing on the second midfield unit for the Terps.
So crafty, quick, and clever, 55 in the white. For Spanos. Spanos maneuvers in against the short stick defense of Aldridge. Terps going deliberately through this offensive set. Parked back behind the goal is Maltz. Working against Posey, who's made a great impression on Jeff Tambroni this season. Kelly, who was the overtime hero, dragging Aldridge back behind the cage. From the angle, Frassian is locked in. He made another stop there on Whittier.
Looks terrific thus far in the game. He's doing a great job of seeing the ball, locating it, giving up a couple rebounds. He's not a guy that makes clean saves for the most part.
Murphy to the alley. Maltz is next against Sickler. Sickler muscling up, goal line extended. Quick cut inside. Whittier puts it away.
The second midfield unit for Maryland getting the job done. We talked about all the offensive personnel that the Terps lost. They also saw offensive coordinator Bobby Benson leave the program. Now the head coach at Providence, Jake Bernhardt, comes over from the University of Vermont. And this is just a great seal pick at the top of the box. Erksa gets a clean look. Beautiful pick at goal line extended. And then Whittier is able to take the pick up top. So a lot of pick action in this Maryland offense. Very spread out. And Whittier takes advantage of that free space.
1-1 game as we near the midway mark of the opening quarter. Maryland nearly double digits in shots in this opening frame, and we're barely at the 7-minute mark. 6-on-6 at this end of the field. Mark, you've been talking about how explosive Maryland was a season ago. Last year, the only game they didn't have 10 goals or more was the championship game win over Cornell.
Yeah, that was a game that they were coming off of that late finish against Princeton, a game where they were physically beaten up. Puglisi with a broken wrist, Fairman a bad hamstring. They were able to get the job done and complete that epic season.
Kelly lets this one fly and hit the cross traffic in front. Maltz comes away with the ball. There is a defender down and in need of attention. That is Posey.
I hope Posey can get up. There we go. That's a great sign. He looks like he took that shot in the back of the head. And you know, as a former goaltender, how much those things hurt when you're facing it, expecting it, when you're a defensive player and it rings your bell. That's
Athletic
a whole
trainer
nother level.
Steve Murray for Penn State getting out there to tend to the fallen Jack Posey.
Oh, so he took it in the ribs. I thought he originally had taken it in the head and neck area, but he took it in the back, the rib area in the back, and that'll take the wind out of you. Great to see Posey getting to his feet. Like you mentioned earlier, Joe, he's been such an incredible presence for this Penn State defense.
Coach Tambroni said for sure the player who's shown the most significant growth in the last year and a half has been the defender who's shaking it off under his own power, now getting to the sideline in this 1-1 game. If you're just tuning in with us, Lacrosse on Big Ten Network. Malone for Penn State, Whittier for Maryland. The Terps here at home at SECU Stadium in white. Long, who has points in 25 straight. For Brennan, kick it there for the impressive freshman Erksa, and he'll get away. It's a turnover against Maryland.
Yeah, not something you see Maryland do too often, but again, newer unit, but they are 7 games into this thing, and that's a great turn of fortune for Penn State. While Posey's out, catching his breath, Maryland turns it over. The Nittany Lions have played a ton of defense thus far in the first quarter. They really want to take care of the ball, go to the cage if they have an opportunity, but really try to give their defense a break, let them catch their breath.
Winkoff from the top, Kevin, a transfer from Binghamton, a 5-goal game against Penn on his resume already as a Nittany Lion. Matt Costin to the alley, sling it back behind the cage. Jack Trainer, 16 in the blue. Brother Matt, 22. On the top midfield, the bounce shot there, fought off by Rupel. Ryan Rupel claims the rebound, and he'll kickstart this clear for Maryland.
Well, there you see the quickness of Rupel. He got down low on that shot fast, and it caught the turf at a weird little bounce, almost a knuckleball, but he still had the great body positioning, so where the ball still hit him right in the body. Great save, Rupel.
Rupel showing off his good stick there on the clear. A freshman learning the clearing game at the Division I level. That has to be a challenge, but for John Tillman, he's seen Rupel do well with it on an outside heater. A buzz bomb from Kohler. It's 2-1 Maryland.
Maryland fans have grown to love that number 8 over the years, formerly worn by Roman Puglisi. And Kohler, the nephew of Brian Lucas, former Johns Hopkins Blue Jay. His brother, Jason, plays for the Delaware Blue Hens as an offensive midi. Eric says, I can get into the action too. Hangs out after clearing the ball. Early offense for the Terps as Kohler with the worm burner solves Fracion and puts the Maryland up by a goal.
Goals in back-to-back games for Kohler. He had one against Virginia. Weirman comes up with another draw, better than 500 face-off wins now for 52 in the Whites.
Yeah, and everybody's saying, well, you know, people are starting to catch up to Weirman. They're starting to figure him out. If I need a face-off win at any particular point in the game, one possession, one guy to take it, 52 in white is who I'm choosing. We saw Mullins win that first clamp between his legs very clean. Ever since then, Weirman has not lost a face-off.
His coach, John Tillman, said, yeah, he's looking a little bit more human. That's to imply that he's been inhuman of late in recent seasons. Murphy comes to running downhill for Maryland. Spanos on the outside. Kicked out. Fracion flashed his foot.
That is a box cat and mouse game that Maryland lived off of last year with DeMayo and Long. Now they're doing it with Murphy. A lot of teams have cut that, you know, that half the field in half again to try to prevent it.
Spanos off the split dodge from right to left. Murphy there. Plenty of time remaining in the shot clock as Murphy works in, tended to by Pup-Buna. Ball down. Ground ball here and coming up. Kyle Aldridge for the Nittany Lions, worming his way down that sideline. Put the big swim move there on Spanos to complete the clean.
Terrific ground ball, Joe. Great defense, and then that quick pickup in traffic to get it from defense to offense. Such a critical skill.
Peden playing catch with Malone. Malone was on the board first for Penn State. Then the Terrapins with a couple of goals less than 2.5 minutes apart to take the lead they enjoy for the moment. Morin gets the alley. Malone off of the screen. Makar has been with Malone all first quarter long. Trader leans in there, put a good shoulder hit on Morin, but the flag is down against the short stick defender for Maryland. Extra man time coming for Penn State.
Yeah, slow whistle, free possession here for the Nittany Lions.
Peden fires, that's over the crossbar as Penn State goes a man up.
I think they're going to get Trader on a hold here as he yanked the Penn State player down to the ground. Check it out.
White, number 5, hold 30 seconds.
Yeah, we're going to see Trader, good defense right here, locks his man up, but there he hooks him, and watch, he yanks back, takes away advantage. And that draws the laundry. Penn State with their first extra man opportunity of the game.
In their first 7 games this season, Mark, just a little bit less than 50% effective. You see their special teams numbers at the top of the screen for both the extra man of Penn State and Maryland's man down. The officials getting things sorted out. We have a little bit more than 4 minutes with which to work in the opening quarter.
Not sure what the holdup is. There might have been a timing clock issue. Refs like what they see, and we're going to resume play.
Nittany Lions in the blue. Circle it up quickly. Matt Trainer has 4 extra man goals this season. He leads the Nittany Lions. This is Jack over the top. Bullseye! Jack Trainer.
Incredible extra man offense by the Penn State Nittany Lions. They basically kept the ball to one side of the field and cleared out top space. Watch, the flip here gets the defense sucked down, and look at all the room up top for Jack Trainer. Beautiful execution. Trainer steps in, delivers a BB, and Penn State has it tied.
Here, Jeff Tambroni's squad, Penn State in town for Maryland. It's the first of a doubleheader today of Big Ten men's lacrosse on Big Ten Network. Johns Hopkins and Michigan will follow from Ann Arbor. Jack Trainer, the most recent guy on the board. His extra man goal, leveling the count at 2. Maryland here at home in white. Jack Corus, who has goals in 4 of his last 5, plays the ball off for Kyle Long. Long attacked on the perimeter. Switch it back up top for Brennan. He has the short stick on him. That's Grant Hawes. Help coming from Sickler. Corus, no shooting room on a rollback. Wide of Frasian. Deflected and kept alive by the Terps. Urksa off the sweep. Feed inside. Deflected and kicked wide of the goal. Off of Posey, who's back in after getting hit by the ball a few moments ago in his ribs. Long fidgets and feeds. Brennan around. This one is blocked there. Sweeney's long stick was in the way, and Parnham comes up with a loose ball for Penn State and a chance to run.
Good defense by Penn State once again. You know, we're going to see it throughout 2023. We've already seen it. Maryland a little bit more methodical this year. Don't spin the ball as fast. Don't spin the ball as crisply as they did a year ago. But again, that was an offense, a team for the ages. Maryland's still pretty darn good. But again, still trying to figure out who those guys are in particular situations. But they've got tremendous balance. And Penn State, I'm impressed with what I'm seeing from them so far here defensively.
These two schools, they argue over the all-time series numbers.
Isn't that crazy?
Penn State says it's 3-43 all-time against Maryland. Step down shot, score! Another wicked drive from Jack Trainer.
We are seeing the shooting prowess of Jack Trainer. Number 16 in blue. We saw the extra man with time and space. And how about the spacing on this goal? Little 2-man game behind the cage. And Trainer was open for a good 2 seconds before he was recognized by his brother, Matt. Just like in the backyard, Joe. You get the slip, I'll pop out and get open, and then I'll bury it. The Trainer brothers connect.
Jack Trainer off this draw here. Weirman going to the goal. That ricochets around. Rattled off the post right to Kelly as the Terps were looking to respond in a heartbeat. Urksa dragging it away, and there's a whistle that blares out. They need a shot clock reset. Jack Trainer, though, took a lot of the onus, took a lot of the blame for that loss to Marquette a week ago upon himself. And Jeff Tambroni was very pleased with the way the elder statesmen on the squad, the captains on the team, really rallied the troops immediately after that game.
Yeah, and that's when you know you have good leadership, is when the coaches don't have to get in you after a tough loss like that. Coming off of a great win against Cornell, you go to a neutral site against a dangerous Marquette team, but really a game that Penn State should have won, and a team that should not beat the Nittany Lions. So showing a lot of leadership, Trainer was, and that feels good to a coach, knowing that they don't have to be the ones to light the fire.
Spanos gets his hands free and buzzed that one wide as he was able to get loose from Brett McVicker, another short stick defender in the stable for the Nittany Lions, who have the 3-2 lead. Jack Trainer with goals back-to-back. Walt Maltz looking inside. That's a tough shot from Whittier that sails wide. They run to the end line, and Kelly will keep it. Maryland ball.
Close race right there between Kelly and Parnham. Won by Kelly. Game hero last week against Virginia, winning the overtime winner.
Spanos inside roll. He scores. And he paid for it.
Spanos Spanos slow to get up. And this is signature Penn State defense. And Spanos now, Daniel Kelly. Spanos missed his freshman year due to a knee injury. You can see that right knee, and Spanos looks like he might be a little concussed. I don't want to speculate, but great move. Look at him get his defender upfield, inside roll. Beautiful. Look how he shoves off with that left hand, but it's not a ward. And then you see Posey come and lower the boom. I really think that should have been a flag. That was late and a little bit high. It certainly was late, and we hope that Spanos can return to action.
As he collects his faculties there on the sideline, this is the third time the game has been tied. It's 3-3 in the final minute of the opening quarter. SECU Stadium in College Park, Maryland, the venue today. Off this draw, Trader going to the cage. He scores! Dante Trader.
Juice goal for the Maryland Terrapins. You tie the game up, you lose a player, well, what probably should have been a flag, a make it take it for the Maryland Terrapins. And the football player, Dante Trader. How about the pickup from Geppert? And Trader, right down Route 1, is able to high-low it. How about the communication between Geppert and Weirman? Weirman flicks it to Geppert, great pickup. Full head of steam, coming downhill, Dante Trader finds the back of the cage.
Takes a mere 13 seconds after Spanos tied it. Trader, who has goals in 3 of his last 6. Weirman wins the draw. Kelly finds a trailer. It's the long stick midfielder, Jack McDonald. They'll balance up here and have 30 seconds. The shot clock's turned off. As you see Weirman's numbers at the top of the screen, just tremendous face-off efficiency. Giving Maryland a make it take it sort of situation to close the quarter. Brennan off the short hop. Gets to the alley and fires. Frassian able to fight that away.
Got Maryland with a 4-1 shot advantage here in the first almost 15 minutes of action.
Not a lot of time with which to work here. 7 seconds on the dead run. It's long with speed right on the cage. Rock attack, he scores! The officials say good goal.
Speed kills. And that is what defines Kyle Long's game. We've seen him running downhill so many times throughout his career. Short time, he's just going to take Grant Hoss inside. There's nothing fancy. It's just a speed dodge. Releases the ball before his feet hit the crease. Right here. Then he has the wherewithal to stay outside of the goal mouth. Had he landed in the goal mouth, you may have seen a flag thrown because he was hit from behind. And the new ruling this year is if you are forced into that goal mouth after you score by an illegal defensive play, goal counts. And how about that to end the first quarter?
The hitting intensifies. Maryland with 3 goals in a 56-second span. Spanos, Trader, and Long. And it is the Terps, second best, second ranked in the land, who take the lead. Maryland 5, Penn State 3. Back with more from College Park right after this.
And Michigan, coached by Johns Hopkins alum Kevin Connery, former defensive coordinator here at the University of Maryland. As we take a look around the conference, Hopkins with Jacob Angelis distributing the rock, Garrett Degnan and freshman sensation Matt Cullison taking on a Michigan team, Michael Bain, Josh Sawada, Ryan Cohen, and then Rutgers and Ohio State tomorrow night. Ross Scott, Dante Coolis, Kyle Mullen, new goaltender for Rutgers, another transfer, doing a great job. That Ohio State defense, Hudgens, Van Buren, and Snyder amongst the best in the conference.
They'll be challenged. Rutgers is scoring goals aplenty once more this season. Big Ten conference opener starting as Trader heats one up from deep. He scores! It trickled in off of Frassian. Trader has a multi-goal game.
This is critical time right now if you're Penn State. You were up 3-2, and in a matter of 2 minutes and change, you've seen Maryland score 4 straight, and a 1-goal lead has turned into a goal hole. Weirman and Trader. Last time it was Geppert and Trader. Frasian saw this, and it just went through his stick, basically. High heat, nothing fancy about it, but great velocity, and Frasian can't keep it out of the back.
As Coach Tambroni talks it over, Dante Trader's second two-goal game of the season. He had a couple of tallies in a win over Syracuse. It's 4 unanswered goals now for Maryland in a 68-second stretch.
And things just went from bad to worse for the Penn State Nittany Lions. That was the third face-off violation for Penn State, resulting in the illegal procedure penalty. That means every violation from here until the end of the first half will result in a 30-second man down for the Nittany Lions.
Whenever Weirman gets on a roll, as he did towards the tail end of that opening quarter, it forces you into a second move, a counter move, and then you get fidgety and you jump.
Yeah, that's where you just have to show whistle discipline and try to play from behind. You know, maybe it's the first move, and then you give your counter, like you said, Joe, to try to muck it up and give your wings an opportunity.
On the extra man, it's Kelly with a burner to make it 5 straight goals for Maryland.
Kelly is a pure shooter. And there's nothing fancy about this. Number 45, it's just poor rotation from the Penn State man-down unit. 2 men playing 1 guy, and they leave 45 in white all by himself. He catches it on the backside and finishes.
Timeout taken on the field. We'll do it just the same. Get you back to SECU Stadium in just a few moments. Tomorrow, it's another top 20 showdown when the Scarlet Knights battle the Buckeyes. Don't miss Big Ten men's lacrosse tomorrow, 7 Eastern, only on Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Maryland working quickly and efficiently. Another snapshot score from Kohler.
Worst case scenario for the Penn State Nittany Lions, you call the timeout, try to settle you guys down, get a possession, and instead it is the 4th short stick deep midfielder goal for the Maryland Terrapins. Look at Kohler just get inside of the defense. I mean, this is like an offensive rotation right here. Geppert to Maltz. Kohler gets underneath. He's just dragging a guy to the crease to try to play maybe a little 5-on-5, a little cat and mouse. Kohler gets free, whips it home.
Coach Tambroni's team reeling. They need a possession here. They're going to switch to Hudson Bond. See if he can have any success against Weirman. Weirman's rolling. Another possession for Maryland.
Yeah, and you just got to some way, somehow. We talked about Penn State 21-5 shot deficit after the first 15 minutes. Frasian was great early, but really no defense can be asked to play this much lacrosse against the University of Maryland.
Long works in. Attacked there by Hawes. Drifting back behind the cage. Brennan on the angle. Aldridge with him. Brennan runs right on through and sent that one wide. The bookkeeping has come fast and furious. 3 in 56 seconds, 4 in 68 seconds, 5 in 1 minute and 26 for Maryland. Brennan again, kicked out of there by Frasian. The rebound, they sprint to the sideline. Great hustle by Pup Buno. It's Penn State ball.
What a job by Buno to win possession for his team. Kick save and a butte for Frasian, and then the hustle from Buno. Second part of the equation, clear it from defense to offense. Penn State does. Now it's time to chip away.
Matt Trainer, 22 in the blue, the younger brother of Jack, who has a couple of goals back in the opening quarter for Penn State. It was 5-3 Maryland after 1. Matt Costin waiting for directions from the sideline. He'll yield the ball to Matt Trainer, the #1 goal scorer, #2 point man for the Nittany Lions in the first 7 games this season. Peden switched it for Matt Trainer. Isolating against the short stick. Skip it on through. Winkoff scores!
Penn Penn State has shown they can score when they have the ball. So this 5-goal deficit, now 4, is not unattainable of coming back. Great vision by Matt Trainer. Skips it across the defense, and Winkoff, the Binghamton transfer, such a great goal scorer. Mostly an attackman in his time up north. Now playing more in a midfield role, but he's a terrific shooter. Great response from the Nittany Lions.
First team all-conference in America East, Kevin Winkoff. A season ago, Maryland continues to rule matters at the face-off dot. This ball gets away, though. Looking for Donovan Lacey, another short-stick defensive midfielder, and it's scooped by Posey. He'll run for cover on the end line and get help from Frassian on the clear.
Second terrific play that won't really show up in the stat sheet. Sickler kicks it to his man. It's just a smart play. You can't get your stick down. Geppert's got the 70 inches of titanium ragging him. Sickler does his best little, I'm trying to think of a good Maryland soccer player, but Sasha Sorovsky would be very proud of that. The little kick, the little playback to his pole.
Whatever it takes. Ethan Long had a goal last week in that loss to Marquette. The tally from Winkoff putting an end to 6 unanswered for Maryland. In the game last year, they had a 13-goal roll against Penn State at one point.
And that was a much different Penn State team. You and I did that game. They had a lot of injuries.
Chris Jordan sent that one high.
So this is a different, this Penn State team, they're built different. Obviously, if Maryland goes on a 13-goal run, any team in the country is going to have a tough time figuring that out. But again, I think Penn State, they've got the firepower offensively to chip away at this Maryland lead.
That game a season ago finished up 18-7 in favor of the eventual national champion Terps. Chris Jordan sent it wide. Jordan's a transfer from St. Lawrence, Division III player. Jordan, their 4th leading point scorer. Malone pressured all the way. That was a tough shot. He sent it high. As we have 11-11 to go in this first half. Maryland doubling up Penn State. The Terps exploding towards the tail end of the opening quarter. Clearing the ball against the 10-man ride. The long shot. Frassian made an amazing stop there on Colin Burlace.
Wow. And I'm not sure what the situation is here. We've got an offsides. Watch Frassian.
That was headed wide, but still,
still
an artistic stop from Frassian.
I haven't seen somebody reach back and grab something like that since your rhythmic gymnastic routine that you like to show us every now and again.
I have skills, don't I?
Yes, you do.
I really do. I really do.
So we're going to have an offsides against Penn State, which will give an extra man opportunity. There was no flag originally, which was why I was a little crossed up, but then eventually the officials got together, figured it out, and Maryland will have another extra man chance.
Daniel Kelly has already cashed in on extra man for the Terps. He has the ball here, 45 in the white. They change the formation. Murphy fires, he scores! Owen Murphy stings another corner.
I mean, man down a lot of times is like a tight zone. It is a tight zone with good rotation, but like a zone defense, you're going to bait shooters and encourage them to take those long-range shots, thinking your goalie's going to come up with the big save. But Murphy, you're going to give it to me? You're going to give it to me? I'm going to let it go. A dart to the upper 90. Beautiful shot from Owen Murphy.
The over-the-top rip, so difficult for netminders to track and trace. Murphy has goals in 6 straight. It's 9-4 for Maryland. Finally, a draw win collected by Penn State. And Hudson Bond does the honors, getting his team a much-needed possession. Now Penn State will work 6-on-6, closing in on the 5-minute mark of the second quarter.
Yeah, the defense for Penn State has been pretty darn good. You know, they've given up 9 goals. 4 have been in transition to 2 short-stick D-middies. 2 have been on the extra man. But it's every phase of the game that you have to be buttoned up in. And right now, Penn State, they just need to figure things out, slow this game down a little bit while, again, chipping away one at a time.
Will Peden, who had a couple of goals last year against the Terps, sharing the rock on the outside with Jack Trainer. Attempting to run by Trader. This drive is just scorched onto Rupel, who's able to fend it off. Ryan Rupel working in the cage, double figures in all of his starts since taking over the #1 job here in College Park. Zappatello gets out there on Matt Costin right at his hands.
Zappatello has become the eraser on this Maryland defense. Did a great job on Schellenberger, and we really haven't called Costin's name a whole lot thus far in this one.
That pass crosses up Peden. Zappatello's with him. Zappatello a little bit more quiet, you would say, than Makar, and it just seems like Maryland's defensive identity this year is the close defenders.
Absolutely. That's the strength, that's the experience that they return. And like most defenders, if you don't call their name a whole lot in the game, they're probably doing a pretty darn good job.
Red is out there now. Nick Red as a short stick defensive midfielder on the inside roll. Put away! Matt Trainer, and there's a flag down after the strike.
And this is kind of similar to what Spanos did, and he didn't get a flag. This time, Trainer, the inside roll, and then he gets walloped late. So we'll just see if this is dead ball or if it's going to be live action. But look at the strength of Matt Trainer. Lowers his shoulder, creates separation right here, boom, and then a step through. And then you're going to see Trainer come in high and late to the back of the head. So it is a live action foul. Maryland will have a man down face-off.
Bond against Weirman at the dot. Weirman comes up with it. On the season, Weirman, 63%. Garrett Gibbons, who helps the Terps in the clearing game, 24 in the white, brings it along, and then we hear the timeout called with 8:45 remaining in the half.
Yeah, the one thing I'm trying to figure out, Joe, I wasn't paying attention to the adjudication of that foul. Was it full time, which means Maryland will be man down for the entire 60 seconds, or is it releasable? Either way, Maryland ball, great timeout, get your proper personnel on the field, and try to kill this foul.
I'm just trying to figure out how to spell adjudication. Referees give you another peek at it.
Sometimes we use big words. Inside roll, good step up field. And there you see Trainer. So watching it back a few times, I'm not 100% sure it's so late, but the delivery of the foul up into that head and neck area. It's been a point of emphasis for years. That is a textbook high check, unintentional, but still gets the flag. And Maryland up 9-5. Going to try to figure out a way to milk this clock down and get back to even strength.
High-scoring first half with Maryland on top by 4. Just past the 6-minute mark. The Terps dominating at the face-off X thanks to Luke Weirman. And after seeing Jack Trainer give Penn State a 3-2 lead, they roared out to an 8-3 advantage. The two teams have traded goals since. Good to see Penn State's Matt Trainer A-OK on the sideline after taking the high hit.
Life around the crease is dangerous, Joe. You are going to take contact.
Jeff Tambroni looking out and seeing that when his squad gets possession, that it is the attack unit, Mark, that really drives this offense, a very mature group. He says they have the hands on the wheel. It's all on them. Right now they're playing defense against Urksa, who sprints to daylight, against Alex Ross, a freshman close defender.
I've been really impressed with Urksa so far in this young college season, as well as Ross. I mean, Inside Lacrosse put out their freshman impact rankings yesterday, and number 6 in blue, Ross, and number 10 in white, Urksa, both making that list.
John Tillman, the coach for Maryland, made sure to compliment how the freshmen have adapted so nicely in this first 6-7 weeks of the season.
And Erks is playing a huge role on this attack unit. Tall, lanky, can dodge, can feed. Really a great presence down low, and has really made it possible for Eric Spanos, who has not returned to action, and he doesn't have his helmet on the sideline, which is not a good sign, but he's allowed him to move Spanos into the midfield.
Beautiful cut. Frassian made the save there on Chorus.
Chorus is an incredible cutter, and that was a great look. And Frassian again with a tremendous save.
Those are the kinds of game-changing stops you need. Stemming the tide here with Maryland's offense working so efficiently. Frassian now clearing attempt out of reach. That pass gets away. He was looking for Jack Traynor.
Great save by Frassian. Look at him hold his spot. Again, that unorthodox. He goes high but makes a save with his body. I hated that clear. You had two guys on the far side within 5 yards of one another. Finally, a midfielder broke. If Jack just would have waited a beat and looked over on that side of the field, he would have seen a shorty wide open, but the execution of that clear, very poor for Penn State, results in a turnover.
Murphy on the hop, skipping into the alley. Murphy, who had an extra man goal earlier today, finds Erksa, runs past Sweeney, draws a double. Sickler came up high on him, skip it on through, long fires. That's high and wide.
Yeah, again, 6-on-6. Penn State's been solid. New defensive coordinator up in Happy Valley, Joe Bucci, Georgetown graduate, came over from UMBC, and he has done a really good job with this group.
Murphy's pass is picked off. Threw it right to Kyle Aldridge. Aldridge looking for some transition now with Jack Posey. Pushed it down the wing. Back behind the cage, Burlace is hung up against Peden as Penn State balances up. Shade more than 6 minutes with which to work in the opening half. Maryland's lead is 4. Jordan getting downhill against Red. Peden works around the screen. Gets topside. Wrap check coming from Zappatello. A takeaway for Trader. Dante already with 2 goals at the offensive end, now looking for more. Glides along, feeds the rock for Kelly. Makar, the long stick, providing a little outlet as Maryland will get some subs on.
Yeah, Makar thought about it. I'm not crazy about that dodge from Pete and the butt dodge, the Tom Marichak kayak backing in. Eventually, you got to know a slide's coming. Maryland, great slide, dislodge the ball, turnover. They clear it. Now looking to get their 10th of the game.
Kayak, it's a nice visual. Marco Signorello is out there, 3 in the white for Maryland.
It's like you back into a guy, and you know when you go on your great adventures.
It's a perfect description. Kayak move.
I'm thinking of warm weather, Joe.
Yeah, you and me both. Temperatures in the low 50s, high 40s today in the mid-Atlantic region. From the outside, Maltz, his bouncer goes wide. Murphy sprints, but to the line first, closest to the ball. Where and when it leaves is Sam Sweeney of Penn State.
No, we are. They are selling out on those races to the sideline and end line. We saw Bruno win one a few minutes ago. Now Sweeney gets it. Penn State needs to start converting those hustle plays, though, on the other end of the field.
Matt Traynor. Couple of 5-goal games for Matt this season against Lafayette and Yale. 5-2 Penn State, 5-2 Maryland. Big Ten conference opening play in men's lacrosse. Off and running, Malone turns the corner. He scores. T.J. Malone beating a path to the net.
That's a way to turn in the hustle play to pay dirt. Malone so quick with that first step. And you could tell Makar was not happy with the communication here. He wanted to switch, I have to imagine, with his short stick. Donovan Lacey, it doesn't happen. Makar trips over the back of the cage. Malone shooting fish in a barrel, coming top side. Big goal for the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Weirman and Bond back to the face-off dot. Bond on the season just over 51% effective. He's subbing in for Chase Mullins, the normal starter, and it is Bond who comes up with possession for the Nittany Lions in blue. Makar guarding Malone some 35 yards from the cage. Matt Trainer picked up by Nick Red.
And we saw Makar trip over the back of the cage right there, and he moved the goal. Let's say that goal would have gone askew or something. As long as that ball crosses the goal line, it's still a good score. Malone still got to hit the twine, but had that not happened, it still would have been a good goal. Kind of like hockey, you know, ball has to be, or the puck has to be entirely across that line.
Sneaky shot there, a beauty from Matt Costin. Here comes Penn State.
Nittany Lions, the sideline is feeling it. They've gotten a counter punch for Maryland's quick run. Two-man game behind. Again, poor communication between the shorties. Should I switch or should I stay? And it looks like there should have been a little bit of a switch there. And Penn State, maybe they have found a little bit of kryptonite behind the cage for the Maryland Terrapins, and that is the defensive communication on the two-man game.
Matt Costin's first ever goal with Penn State came against Maryland. He has another one against the Terps. Penn State has the ball again. All of a sudden, Hudson Bond has figured out Luke Weirman. And the Nittany Lions can pull within one this trip.
And that's why you have two face-off men. I mean, most rosters have five, but you change a style, change a pace, and Bond has done a terrific job in relief of Chase Mullen.
Morin flips to Malone. Malone guarded by the All-American Makar, wearing the prestigious #1 jersey for the Terps. Stepping and firing to score! Jack Trainer! 4 unanswered for the Nittany Lions.
Penn State right now is feasting on the shorty matchups behind the cage. Look at Makar. He left Lacey on an island. He was not going to switch. He was not going to support. And Trainer just runs by 18 in white, gets above goal line extended, and whips it home. Penn State has answered the Maryland run.
3 markers for the Nittany Lions in less than 90 seconds. And in that time frame, it has become a 1-goal game with 2:58 to go in the opening quarter. Joe Beninati, Mark Dixon with you. 3 cheers for all the men and women in our technical crew. With Lacrosse on Big Ten Network today from College Park, a top 10 meeting. The Terps ranked 2nd, Penn State ranked 9th, and this one living up to the hype.
It really is. And let's be honest, coming into when we get an idea of what our TV schedule is a couple months in advance. Nothing is written in stone until we get that official email. But when we saw this on the docket, you're kind of like, ugh, last couple of years, this has not been a competitive series. Wow, Penn State, they're 2023 so far.
The season to go at 3-11. They're turning things around nicely this spring.
Yeah, I mean, just a disastrous 2022. Played the Ivy League tough, but then the wheels fell off the wagon, if you will. But they're 5-2, spotless against ranked opponents, getting more shots because they're getting better face-off work. And you might say, okay, they saved 52% last year, they're at 55 this year. That's a 1 or 2 goal swing. And when you're losing games by a goal, and as Jeff Tambroni told us this week, we just found a way to lose games last year instead of finding a way to win. Well, they're finding a way to win in 2023, and they were down by 5 goals just a few short minutes ago. And this offense, we talked about it, they're built different in 23. They've got firepower, and they're back in this game.
Coach Tambroni didn't want to take anything away from Marquette. Marquette, a 12-11 win for the Golden Eagles over the Nittany Lions last week. But he said that his squad didn't shoot the ball particularly well. In this stretch, in the last 3-4 minutes, they are dead-eye accurate. And within one, as we get a flag off the draw.
It's going to be another violation on Penn State. So a man-down opportunity again.
Oh my God.
Jeff Tambroni doesn't like the call.
31, delay 30 seconds, face-off violation.
So actually it's a delay of game on Penn State. It's not a procedure. I'd have to watch the replay to see exactly what happened there, but delay of game is different from procedure. So a man down coming up again for Penn State. Let's take a look. There's the face-off. Yeah, I'm not sure where the delay of game was, but in any event, Maryland has the extra man.
And they've been effective today, hovering around 50% for the season. They were over 2 in their big win over Virginia last weekend. Murphy with a rocket that misses on the short side.
Well, this is exactly what Maryland needs. I mean, they're on their heels a little bit. Now an extra man opportunity, just what the doctor ordered to try to get some momentum back.
Swing it, the pass is deflected, put down to the ground neatly there by J.B. Strachan, who comes off the bench for Penn State in these man-down situations, and it's Nittany Lion ball.
And you're seeing Penn State, when that ball hits the ground, whether it's a shot running it out of bounds or a contested GB, these guys are fighting, they're hustling. Really, this defense has kept them in this game until the offense could get heated up and get some extra touches.
First half of this game has been terrific. The Big Ten Conference opener, Maryland on top by 1. Penn State a chance to tie on this offensive set. Less than 2 minutes to go. Matt Costin just chilling against the short stick defender Nick Red. Red hedging topside there. Look for a little pick chip play back behind the goal. Malone. Worked over by Makar. Drops the hatchet on him. Time ticking, 90 seconds left. And 25 on the shot clock. Jack Trainer already with a hat trick. Against Trader. The enunciation battle. Trainer and Trader.
There was a stalemate there.
Winkoff to go against Burlace. Shot clock down to 5. Speed dodge coming. Matt Costin fought off by Rupel. The freshman made a big stop there, keeping his team in front. Last possession time now of the opening half belongs to Maryland on a successful clear from Red.
Yeah, big time save for Rupel. He was beat on those couple of topside swings by Penn State the last 2 or 3 shots, and that time he read it, saved it. Teammates pick up the ground ball and they have a chance.
4 unanswered goals for Penn State. How does Maryland respond now in the final 30 seconds? Where do you look?
You'd be disciplined. And again, 6-on-6, they haven't had a ton of success, but I think you have to get some of that. I like some of that action with the seal picks up top and then a cutter across the crease. Look for Daniel Kelly, who's got range, or look for Urksa on a cut.
Brennan with Sickler back behind the goal. 14 seconds to play. Brennan and then Long. Long off the sweep. Drawing a double. Roll back, find the open man. Chorus is driving, scores! Jack Chorus.
Maryland elects to attack from up top. It's just a switch of the field, and really, the Penn State shorty just overruns Jack Chorus. Beautiful hitch by number 22 in white. Look at the switch right there. Sickler's momentum just carries him past course, and you have to love the footwork of number 22 in white. Boop. Little hitch, gets to the center of the field, increases angle. Beautiful bounce shot past Fracione.
Chorus, after a career best 4 goals in that big win over Virginia, he has tallies in 5 of 6. Weirman gets the draw, goes right to the cooker. Weirman at the horn, bounced it wide. We are done with 30 minutes in College Park. A very entertaining game. Coach Tillman's squad, a lead by 2.
Terrific first 30 minutes of action. It's been a game of runs. It's been physical. Everything you'd expect between Big Ten opponents, Maryland and Penn State.
Maryland head coach John Tillman, kind enough to join us at the end of 2 quarters. And coach, we've seen this game go on the teeter-totter a little bit, back and forth. How would you describe it through 2?
Yeah, kind of a frantic game. Obviously, you know, started a little slow and then got things going. And then obviously not a great last 10 minutes for us. So we got to kind of reorganize things there and talk about some of our pick play behind the goal. They're doing a good job of that. Offensively, obviously, when you get 10 goals, that's not a bad thing. But I still think there are some things that we could be doing better.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned the pick plays at Penn State's running behind the cage. Initially, what do you think some adjustments you might be able to make there? Is it communication, or is it more matchup oriented?
I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, they have skilled players, you know, and back there we're just not talking. There are times where we're going really deep, and I don't think we really need to go as deep as we're going. And then we're allowing ourselves to get picked off, and then we're just not communicating the switches. So just got to do a better job, catch our breath, and use these 10 minutes here and teach and help our guys get better.
Coach Dillman, thanks very much. We appreciate the insight.
Thank you, guys.
Maryland and Penn State today in College Park. High-scoring affair. Kohler has a couple from his short stick defensive midfield position. Back and forth we go. Halftime festivities coming your way right after this. Jeff Tambroni, as you get set for the start of the second half, what's at the top of your to-do list to get this across the finish line in a win?
I think we've got to just eliminate a lot of the self-inflicted wounds. You know, Maryland is a good enough team as it is. I felt like we gave them some unnecessary opportunities, and they're going to take advantage of a lot of, you know, things just because of how athletic and how talented they are. And felt like we really got behind the 8 ball on some of the face-off violations and man down. So hopefully just play with a little bit more discipline in the second half and continue to keep playing hard and try to be efficient on the offensive end.
Coach, thanks very much. We appreciate it.
Great. Thanks, guys.
Folks, you saw the note there about Penn State winning in College Park. That victory, which Maryland recognizes as its only loss against Penn State, March 31st of 2019. So we're closing in on the 4-year anniversary of that. Mark Dixon, it was Jeff Tambroni who said, just shoot with confidence today. Let it go against the youngster Ruppel. They started to pick him apart a little bit in that second half. Ruppel, though, made a key stop late in the second quarter to keep and preserve Maryland's lead.
Yeah, he really did. But at the end of the day, Brian Ruppel, he's still a freshman, and he's played terrific. 3-1 record. Saved the day for the Terps last weekend, but at the end of the day, he's still a freshman. And Penn State, they've got some guys who can bring it and sling it. And we'll see what adjustments each team makes to involving the short stick D middies.
Ruppel, after a wild scramble, took the ball from Geppert. Now Kohler goes to the cage, and Frassian denies him the hat trick.
Yeah, and I think, not that Frassian didn't respect Trader and Kohler previous to them scoring 4 goals collectively against him, but he made sure to save that.
Unsettled, they score. Jack Trainer has his 4th.
How poetic is this, Joe, to start off the second half? One of the reasons Maryland is winning is because of transition goals from their shorties. Jack Frassian, not happening this time. And is Penn State able to clear it? They get underneath the substitution game for the Terrapins. And who else? Number 16 from range, Jack Trainer, high to low.
Trainer had 3 different 4-goal games a season ago. He's got 4 today. Bond gets the draw going right to the cage. Bounce shot kicked out of there by Ruppel. The long rebound belongs to Lacey, and Maryland looks to run.
Another great save by Ruppel. We're going to have a delayed flag. It's going to be a slash. Looked like Lacey took one to the kidney area.
Maryland about to go man up as Sickler kicks this ball loose. The slow whistle.
You got to pick it up if you're Penn State.
All the way to the sideline, and another opportunity here for McDonald as he'll play with Erksa, the freshman, against Sweeney. Works back into the double team from Buno. Maryland soon to go man up. There's a flag down.
It's just a little lazy by Kyle Aldridge. Could have picked that thing up and killed it, because that's going to be a personal foul. So if Maryland scores, the penalty will hold. They'll have a man-up face-off. At least if Aldridge picked that up, you kill that initial opportunity, and Maryland just goes 6-on-5.
Brennan finds the front swinging chorus. He scores again.
Jack Kors, one of the better cutters in all of the country. Lacey, I think the penalty occurs when he's going up the field and he gets whacked in the back. And then again, Penn State unable to kill the initial flag down just to get it to 6-on-5. Kors scores. And so guess what? Goal counts, and now Penn State is a man down. So man up face-off for the Maryland Terrapins. Again, Penn State, Aldridge, if he picks that ground ball up, it kills the play. Maryland just goes 6-on-5. As it is, it's a slow whistle. Maryland scores. Man up opportunity potentially coming up for the Terps.
Face-off control for Gebert. There's a push call. They're going to give this ball possession now to Penn State in the traveling blue. Malone looking for Matt Costin.
Big break for Penn State there, Joe. Maryland coaching staff not happy, but they called interference on Weirman, a little bit of a hold as he got it into space. So that is a bullet dodge by the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Nittany Lions wasting time now. That remains on the Maryland man up. Fourth extra man for the Terps on the day. Just chilling a long way from the goal. It's Matt Trainer. 11-9 for the Terps. Kors is second. He had 2 against Penn State a season ago. He's got 11 career multi-point games. Does the junior from Lutherville, Maryland. Ranks 3rd on the team in goals and points as Penn State returns to even strength. Sickler jogs in from the sideline. Matt Trainer with 15 seconds on the shot clock. For Peden took his eyes off of that. It'll roll out of bounds. It's a turnover against Penn State.
Wow, just good news is you killed the penalty if you're Penn State. Bad news, you turned it over. But there we're seeing the versatility of Sickler. They put him on as an offensive midfielder, knowing there was going to be short time in the shot clock if this exact thing happened. A turnover to Maryland. It does. Sickler can just slide down into a short stick D midi roll.
Penn State averaging a bit more than 14 goals per game. This drive fought off by Frassi and rebound, and Maltz tiptoeing the crease, sent it high.
And Maltz stepped in the crease. Couldn't avoid the purple. Again, the purple lines here at Maryland in honor of Maria Young, Ryan Young's mother, who passed away from pancreatic cancer going on about 12, 13 years ago, right? Ryan, just a tremendous career, and she was a big part of this team's culture as they ran to a national championship game appearance in John Tillman's first year at the helm here in College Park.
Nearing the 4-minute mark now, the 3rd quarter. Lacrosse on Big Ten Network today. Joe Beninati, Mark Dixon with you as we watch Moore and take it for a ride into the alley against Lacey. Rolling in, snapshot kicked out of there by Rupel. And the rebound to Makar. The official's going to award the ball right back to Penn State. They work quickly off the restart with Malone.
It looks like they called a moving pick on Maryland. So Penn State getting some breaks.
Zappatello against Malone. Floated over the top. Peden fires. Rupel locked in there. Comes up with a nice outlet pass to midfield. Taking it, it's McDonald on the move. Going to the goal. Trail check there. Diving effort. Outstanding work from the blind side to force that shot. Great hustle by Jack Trainer.
Yeah, Rupel starting to heat up for the Terps. Starting to see the ball better. Only had 3 saves in the first half. He already has that number right now here in the opening minutes of the 3rd stanza.
Long points in 26 straight against Aldridge.
We got a flag down on the field, Joe.
We sure do. And the pass for Maltz, it's low. It's picked up as Penn State's going to be shorthanded. The officials today, Cieslak, Lehane, and Mueller making the assessment.
They have been busy.
5-5.
So we got a slash against Penn State. Yeah, right in the small of the back. That'll earn you some laundry every time out there.
Parnham, who started today over Alex Ross. Parnham started 14 games a season ago. He'll sit it out. Maryland goes extra man.
And that's the lack of discipline that Jeff Tambroni talked to us about at halftime. Self-inflicted wounds.
Urksa lost the handle, and away comes Sweeney for Penn State. Sam Sweeney, who hails from Edgewater, Maryland. Friends and family, I am sure, in attendance. Son of Michael and Tracy. Dad played lacrosse at Salisbury, Division III powerhouse. Matt Trainer will walk it again to run time away from the Maryland man-up situation.
How about those Penn State uniforms, Joe? They are slick.
Nice and clean.
I love just the evolution of the Penn State uniform over the years has been terrific. Just a little stripe that they've added to the sleeves. Good look for the Nittany Lions.
30 seconds in the shot clock. And back to 6-on-6. Matt Trainer. Attacked there by Makar. Makar stays right there, and now slides over and shifts to Malone. That snapshot just fought off there. Jack Trainer was looking for his 5th on the end line. This will belong to Maryland.
Good run out by the Terps. Couldn't tell if Ruppel got a piece of that or if it hit a body in front of the goal. Either way, possession to Maryland.
Ruppel, one of only, 3 freshman goalies to start at Maryland in the last 70 years, and they're all named Brian. Brian Doherty, Brian Phipps, and Brian Ruppel.
Pretty good company. Offsides against Maryland, gives the ball back to Penn State. I mean, you think about the pressure of playing goalie in Division I level, let alone for the University of Maryland. Defending national champions, a lot of experience, but you also lost a lot from that team last year. Ruppel has just done a terrific job. Really, for a week anyway, the darling of college lacrosse.
Everybody recognizing that name after those 3 gem saves in overtime. One spectacular sequence. Sneaky shot there and a wrap attempt by Ethan Long. It's Maryland ball. Trader and Zappatello there closest to the ball wearing when it left the field after the shot. Nearing the midway mark of the 3rd quarter, we were 10-8 Maryland at the halftime break. Chorus for the Terps. Jack Trainer again for the Nittany Lions in this 3rd frame.
You feel like we haven't seen a lot of the Penn State second midfield, probably due to the dearth of possessions that they had in the 1st quarter. And how about Grant Hawes? Jeff Tambroni fired up. Use the sideline as your friend. Push him out of bounds. Grant Hawes wins possession.
The speedy clearing midfielder, Garrett Gibbons, who from time to time will use those jets to help Maryland clear. And he was knocked into the ditch.
I mean, if you are clearing the ball, stay off that sideline, because an experienced, talented player like Grant Hawes, that becomes a teammate. And there you see Hawes push Gibbons. All you have to do is touch that line. Don't have to be completely out of bounds. Heady play by Grant Hawes.
Matt Costin on the sweep against Red. He'll roll back into the double, fires it wide. On the end line, it's Jack Trainer there for Penn State.
Terrific job by Grant Hawes. And not a place you want to be if you're a Maryland Terrapin. Right in the middle of that Penn State bench. Good discipline by Penn State.
Geppert so smooth off the ground ball. John Geppert brings it ahead. Exchanging here for Trader. Trader lets it fly over top of the crossbar. Dante Trader, who had a couple of goals in the 1st half.
Trader can shoot. He played offensive midfield in high school. He's been transitioned to a defensive midfielder here in College Park. Again, bright future starts for the Maryland football team. Won that Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Didn't play lacrosse in 2022 to concentrate on football here in College Park. Whittier kicks it off for Urksa. Urksa running past Sweeney. Moving around up top. Signorello looking for his 1st collegiate point. We leak below 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Maltz fires. Fassian had that one easily.
Like how he's making some clean saves here in the 2nd half. No rebound. Read it all the way. Not the greatest shot placement if you're the Maryland Terrapins.
Nittany Lions settle in to go 6-on-6 here. Ethan Long, who scored in the losing effort to Marquette. And a sweet assist behind the back in a terrific win against Cornell. Chris Jordan works in off the sideline. He gets the attention of Kohler. Jordan against the short stick defender. Snaps that one off the outside of the goal. Rupel had the right angle, and the Terps look to clear.
Unlucky. I like that matchup against Trader. Jordan 6'4", good size. Just gets the mom goal.
Mom jumps up. No, it's outside of the net. Mom goal. Haven't heard that one in a while. Good to be back with you, my friend.
Absolutely.
Bottom of the hour time. Lacrosse on Big Ten Network. Joe Beninati and Mark Dixon with you. Chorus angles in. McVicker there to defend. Urksa, very determined move from behind the goal. Shares it up for Brennan as he looks to invert against Hawes. Brennan marked well. Maltz at the stick length of Posey. Shot clock's at 22.
And Maltz has been neutralized today by Posey, which is what he does to opposing attackmen.
Brennan turns. He's stuffed by Frassian.
Again, good save, clean save. No rebounds given up by Frassian. And man, this Penn State defense, they've really hunkered down. And this game has slowed down as much like other games at this level do after frenetic, John Tillman talking to us at halftime, a frenetic pace, frenetic first half. Both these teams kind of settling in, and Maryland still with that 2-goal lead, but it's anyone's ball game at this point.
Nittany Lions, who've won 4 of their last 5. Maryland was perfect at home last year. Their home win streak coming to an end at 20. They fell in overtime to Notre Dame earlier this season in non-conference play. Jack Trainer trying to finalize on Dante Trader. Matt Costin against Red. Here comes a double from Zappatello. Beautifully timed. The Terps put it on the ground, and now they'll run. Makar leads in transition. Makar fires a bouncer off the crossbar. The rebound out of bounds will be Maryland ball. Makar with a long-range bouncer that struck the iron.
Great off the ground, excellent strength to withstand a check on the ride, and then he gets leveled at the end of it. Kevin Winkoff cleanly saw an opportunity to hit number 1 when he wasn't looking and took full advantage. But again, Maryland, those double teams that we've seen them create turnovers today, so well timed. Took the words right out of my mouth, Joe.
Skip it for Signorello. Keeping it on the outside for the Terps. Whittier on the sweep, fires, he missed it. The backup for Urksa. Makar wearing the number 1 jersey, the kind of player who raises everybody's level. Coach Tillman said there was pretty much a consensus for Brett to wear it this year. Watching from the defensive end as his offensive Terrapins go to work. Signorello off the split dodge from right hand to left. Maltz picked up by Sickler. Knocked him off the angle. That pass intercepted by Aldridge. Kyle Aldridge running. Had a goal against Lafayette earlier in the year, an assist against Marquette last week. It's a 2-goal game with less than 2 minutes to go in the third.
A great pickup by Aldridge. That's the second time, I believe, he's done that in this game. And keeps his head on a swivel. Good stick. Able to snare it out of midair and get another possession back for Penn State. I feel like the next goal in this game is huge, Joe.
Rivalry game between these two sides. John Tillman was saying, you know, when we get into conference play and all of a sudden it's Penn State and Maryland, it feels like Ravens Steelers.
Absolutely. No question. These conference games hit harder. These teams know each other so well. The whole conference, very similar personalities up and down.
Matt Trainer's pass. Flung to the midfield. Over and back belongs to Maryland. Urksa ready to go. 60 seconds in the third. Zappatello was trail checked there. It'll stay Maryland ball. 55 seconds left to operate. Number 50 looking for the goal. Jack Frassian in his first full season as the full-time starter. A better communicator. He's been better leading the clearing game in Coach Tambroni's estimation. Chorus spots the open man Maltz. Swing it on around the long with 35 seconds left. The Terps can settle for the final shot of the quarter if they choose. Long dancing against Hawes. Long with 18 seconds to go. Jitterbugs in on Grant Hawes. Skip passes off the cross of Maltz. And it'll go back to Penn State for the final 8 seconds of the third quarter. Malone from deep. That sizzler went wide. 2 seconds left. Racing it off the end line on the quick restart. There were whistles, though.
Yeah, the ball hit the brick building and was in the field of play. The referees had to clear.
Peden fires. That's intercepted neatly there by the defender Burles. And we are done with 3 quarters in College Park. Just a couple of goals in that frame. Split evenly. It's 11-9 Maryland. Down the stretch with you in just a few moments on Big Ten Network. Injured netminder Logan McNaney right there whispering in the ear of Brian Ruppel as we look at the score divvied up into thirds with Maryland on top 11-9. Last week, McNaney watched his understudy Ruppel perform an amazing trick, something out of the Matrix in overtime.
Unbelievable. This is overtime down in Charlottesville. Thomas McConvey, then Evan Zinn. Unbelievable saves from Brian Ruppel, and that set up Urksa to Kelly, the game winner. And Maryland escapes Virginia with the upset victory. Had Maryland lost last week, Joe, that would have been 3 losses for them. When's the last time we ever had seen Maryland with 3 losses, let alone by the month, March not even ending? So Brian Ruppel, the hero, a week ago.
The last time Maryland beat a #1 program, it was Penn State, in fact, 15-11, way back on April 8th of 2017. Logan McNaney injured in week 2. The knee surgery having just taken effect, right? They just had the surgery a couple weeks ago as they had to wait for the swelling to subside.
Yeah, typical with an ACL, non-contact against Loyola. And boy, did that touch off. It was sweatpant game, because in that game against Loyola, Logan McNaney was wearing his signature sweatpants in the first half. John Tillman used a second timeout at the end of halftime because he didn't burn both of them in the first half. Logan came out wearing shorts, and then he got hurt. And then it became, well, John called that timeout because they wanted, Logan was already injured and they wanted extra time to work on him and yada, yada, yada. I talked to John Tillman about it. He said, that was news to me.
Sweatpant gate.
Yeah, sweatpant gate.
Let's sweep that under the rug. Joe and Mark with you. SECU Stadium in College Park, Maryland. First of 2 games today. Men's lacrosse on Big Ten Network. Johns Hopkins and Michigan will follow. The Blue Jays, who've won 5 of their last 6 overall. Penn State in the traveling blue, trailing by 2. It was 10-8 at the half, just a couple of goals in the third quarter. On a day when 16 in the blue, Jack Traynor has 4. Matt Costin in possession of the ball against Zapatello. Kohler looking after Winkoff. Here comes a double team. Winkoff able to fight that off. Matt Traynor inside roll against Red. He scores! No, they're going to wash it out. No goal for Matt Traynor. He's in the crease.
Yeah, again, and he landed in the goal mouth, and without a flag, meaning Traynor was not helped into the crease by illegal defensive contact. Landing in the goal mouth means no goal. We go the other way.
Kohler has the ball. Short stick defensive midfielder Kohler had goals in the first and second quarters today. He's had a couple. Dante Trainor's had a couple. That short stick defensive midfield group going to have a lot of fun when they're reviewing the film should Maryland prevail today.
Yeah, without question.
Brennan on the go against Aldridge. Urksa attacks from behind the cage with a lot of pace.
Again, still feeling this next goal really is going to determine the outcome of this game.
Brennan, change the point of attack. Maltz, dish it inside Chorus. Fought off there by Ross. Ross stays with him. Shot clock's at 15 for Maryland and White. Great work by the freshman defender, Alex Ross.
Man, just ragged Jack Chorus. Here's the disallowed goal. No push is called. Trainer lands in the goal mouth. Makes it pretty easy. Penn State, they wanted to push, but you saw good discipline by number 47, Nick Red. He was beat inside, didn't extend the arms, Joe. Didn't push Trainer in the back to force him into that goal mouth. Trainer went in there all on his own. Good call by the officials.
So after the strong defensive work from Alex Ross, the freshman from Davidsonville, not far from where we are here in College Park, Penn State looks to nibble away at Maryland's lead, bring it to 1 here. On the roll, it's Morin against Lacey. Pick play set on the outside, kicking around for TJ Malone. Malone driving back upfield. Second leading goal scorer for Penn State. Started the scoring today, did 7 in the blue. Isolation on the dodge here from Peden. He'll fire wide of Rupel. With 15 seconds on the shot clock, it stays Penn State ball.
Maryland shorties being much more physical behind the cage on those inverts, getting a good jam, good touch in.
Malone, look away pass, taken off the turf by Colin Burlace, the sophomore. First year in the starting rotation on the back end for Maryland. Trader skips this one for Lacey. We're nearing the 4-minute mark of the fourth. It's Maryland and Penn State in this top 10 clash. Conference opener for Big Ten men's play in 2023. Zach Whittier racing in off the sideline with Long. Long, an igniter for this team. Bounce shot, score! Kyle Long gets his second of the day.
It was almost 18-minute scoring drought for both ball clubs. Maryland extends their bulge to 3. Look at the speed, the hesitation dodge, the bouncer using the earth. Kyle Long, beautiful shot. Maryland up 12-9.
Kyle Long, the last man on the board. Maryland has a 3-goal advantage with 11 minutes to go in regulation. July 15th, the BTN Big 10K returns to Soldier Field in Chicago for the fantastic 10K and 5K races and tailgate party. Scan that QR code right now or register at btnbig10k.com. Long, terrific lacrosse playing family. Sister working at North Carolina. Such a dependable producer. Day in, day out, you can count on him to get his name on that score sheet.
Without question. And he's the guy that Maryland has the party last year, and then he wakes up and he's like, where did I go? You know, he's the guy left. He's the catalyst. He's the most experienced.
Sloppy passing there from the Terps, giving Penn State possession. Coach Tillman not pleased as the Nittany Lions advance the ball on the clear with Sweeney doing the honors. Former long stick midfield, now playing close defense. Chris Jordan, 45 in the blue, has 5 multi-goal games this season. He's been held off the score sheet so far today.
And Maryland with this 3-goal lead, I kept saying big. The next goal was so big because if Penn State could have cut that to 1, obviously a lot easier time trying to win this game. But now they really got to claw back. Maryland doing a better job in this situation. The invert with the shorties. They do a good job again. Kohler, good communication.
On Costin, got a stick on that shot. Deflected it out of bounds. The officials give the ball to the Terrapins. The good speed closest to the ball, where and when it leaves the playing surface on a shot, is awarded possession.
And Nick Red with a second terrific play that won't show up on the stat sheet. Did not push Trainer on that no goal. And there he just uses his speed to win the race to the sideline.
Rupel showing off his handiwork, snaps the pass on target for Donovan Lacey, or rather Eric Kohler, the short stick defensive midfielder. Now Chorus will balance everybody up with Long coming in off the sideline. 9:20 left in regulation. Long getting a jump on Sickler, inverted back behind the cage. Urksa. Jitterbugs loose. Finds a passing lane over the top for Brennan. 30 seconds in the shot clock. Daniel Maltz tied for first in goals this season. Has yet to put his name on the score sheet today. Long fenced in by Sweeney. Terps in no hurry now. Urksa from his knees. Change of pace move. Wraps. Stopped by Frassian. Big save there from the Nittany Lion keeper. Ball scooped by Ryan O'Connor. Sweeney loping back to midfield. And now Penn State looks to chip away once more.
Yeah, huge save by Frassian. And how about that ground ball by O'Connor? First time grounder, so important, especially in front of your crease. Denies Maryland a second chance possession. Penn State, I like Trainer. I like Trainer inverting in that inside roll. He had a goal that counted. He had a goal that didn't count. But if I'm Penn State, I might revisit that right here.
Jack Trainer on the throwback to his brother Matt. Move it up top to Costin. No shooting lane there. Malone against the shorty. Fires Rupel. Shrugged it aside. Racing out of the cage now. The freshman comes up with a ground ball and gets help on the clear with the Colin Burleys.
Great save by Rupel, and then you see his athleticism out of the cage, tracking down that ground ball. Maryland has really tightened things up defensively. Trainer, when he wasn't even able to think about the inside roll because that slide was coming before he even got the goal line extended.
Great game in the first of our Big Ten men's doubleheader. Johns Hopkins and Michigan warming up. Wolverines' Josh Zawada closing in on 100 career goals. Dean Linke and Jesse Schwartzman will have that call for you on Big Ten Network from Ann Arbor once we are through.
And Maryland uncharacteristically turning the ball over here late. This is now the youth and the inexperience, if you will, relative from year to year from Maryland. Letting Penn State hang around, giving them opportunities to come back.
Ethan Long, another Marylander who played his high school ball at Calvert Hall. There's a flag down.
Looks like it's going to be a cross check or a hold, I believe, against the Terps. Love how Makar just picked that ground ball up immediately.
Fouls on White, number 8, too many men, 30 seconds.
So it's going to be a procedure actually against the Terps. Too many men on the field. I thought they threw it for a personal foul, but it's only a technical. So not only is Maryland making some physical mistakes out here, but just a mental mistake right there. Got to wait till your man is completely over the midfield line before you step onto the other half of the field. Huge opportunity here for the Nittany Lions.
Malone with the ball. Jack Trainer right back for Malone. Feed it inside. Tap, tap passing. It gets away from Matt Trainer, and Maryland has it. Zappatello will look to clear for the shorthanded Terps.
It was there for Penn State. Just the execution was not.
Trader leaping in the air makes a great catch and then rolls ahead. Maryland's man down unit. That will expire in 2 ticks. Garrett Gibbons has control. On a day when we've seen Eric Spanos get nicked, injured in the opening quarter, has not returned. Seen quite a bunch of Zach Whittier today, as well as Owen Murphy for sure. Murphy in possession. Time ticking, less than 6 minutes to go in the fourth. Braden Urksa spots his man. It's Chorus who let it fly. Missed it. Backed up on the end line by Murphy. Penn State, a mark of 5-2. Likewise for Maryland. A top 10 showdown in College Park today. Murphy finds Whittier. Bumped off by Hawes. Inside feed, score! Beautiful passing play for Chorus.
Hat trick for Jack Chorus. He's terrific off ball. And Maryland with excellent execution. The execution that Penn State didn't have on one end of the field with the extra man, Maryland does. Chorus just sneaking around the cage right-handed, sticks it. Maryland now up by 4.
An exciting Saturday of Big Ten men's lacrosse action on Big Ten Network. We're enjoying Penn State, Maryland. You see Kevin Connery there, the head coach for the Michigan Wolverines. They're about to play host to Johns Hopkins in the nightcap of our doubleheader. That game will begin on the Fox Sports app at the top of the hour in some 5 minutes time. We have 5.5 to go in regulation here at SECU Stadium. Once we're done, it'll be Hopkins and Michigan on Big Ten Network. Dean Linke and Jesse Schwartzman, your announced team. Michigan winning 2 of its 3 in Ann Arbor this season. Weirman against Bond on the draw as it's kicked loose to the sideline. Tracking it down was Sickler. The ball belongs to the Maryland Terrapins as Geppert will claim it. A week ago, it was Jack Chorus who had a huge hand in that win over then #1 ranked Virginia. Chorus scored a career best 4. He's got a game high 3 for the Terps. 3 of the last 4 Maryland goals coming from number 22 in the white to make it 13-9.
He's played a ton since he's arrived here in College Park on the second midfield. Now, he's not the most explosive athlete. You know, he's not Kyle Long, he's not Anthony DeMeo, but he's so good off ball. He's so smart at finding seams, and he's scoring huge goals this season for the Maryland Terrapins.
Maryland now has had a hat-trick performer in 65 straight games. Long, ragging time against Hawes. Grant Hawes, whose brother John played at Maryland, is an assistant on the Penn State sideline in familiar territory. Long rolling against Grant Hawes. Shot clock's at 12. Maltz, quick cut, just snapped wide there. Opening up for a split second was Daniel Kelly. Kelly, who has goals in all 8 games this season. Maryland hoping to improve to 6-2. The Terps, a week from today, they have Michigan here. Penn State's next game, they'll be playing host to Ohio State on Sunday. Next, that is.
We're in the Big Ten season, Joe. And again, these teams so evenly matched. I feel like the conference is as deeper and as balanced as it ever has been due to the improvement of Johns Hopkins, due to the improvement of Penn State.
Coaches, whomever we've been talking with throughout the week in preparation for this weekend, using that word gauntlet quite a bit, running the gauntlet of the Big Ten. As this drive from Costin sizzles wide. Maryland's lead is 4 with 3.5 to go in the 4th.
You think about last year at this time, Hopkins lost a weekend double dip to Navy and Delaware. This year they win it, and they're 7-3 going into conference play with a lot of momentum.
Winkoff's blast, that's blocked. Zappatella was in the shooting lane. There's a 6-car pileup looking for the loose ball. And possession and the timeout was awarded to Penn State.
Great ground ball pickup by Winkoff. I've been really impressed with Winkoff, with Jordan, these graduate transfers. Penn State really hadn't gone into the portal in that regard over the last couple of years. They did so this year, and these have been really solid additions to to this Penn State lacrosse program, this Penn State lacrosse culture.
13-9 mark for Maryland with 3:18 to go, and number 22 has factored prominently for the Terps in the second half.
When they needed somebody to step up, Chorus has answered the bell. We talked about his cutting ability, but that hitch move at the end of the first half was a thing of beauty. Sneaks around the left corner from Jack Brennan. Then he's going to sneak around the right corner, taking the feed inside from Zach Whittier. So Jack Chorus, again, not just in the Big Ten, but nationally. They own wins over Penn. They own a win over Cornell. They beat Yale. So this is a team that's in a good spot to compete for a Big Ten championship.
Luke Weirman coming up with another ground ball. We've mentioned his 500 face-off wins. He's now top 3 in ground balls at this institution on a sneak to score. Penn State chipping away now, not put to bed yet. It's a 3-goal deficit.
This game is not over by any stretch of the imagination, but it will be a challenge for the Nittany Lions. They take advantage of the timeout. Not really sure what happened here. I see red, his stick breaks. So he's got to go out of the game. That leaves Colin Burles on an island, and he can't guard 2 guys at the same time. Winkoff smartly comes around, tiptoes the crease, sticks it past Rupel, cuts the Maryland advantage down to 3.
Winkoff, the 5th leading scorer for Penn State this season. Huge draw here, and it is Weirman who comes up with possession, but then scoops and flicks it to the sideline. But there was a whistle. It's a timeout taken by Maryland.
Yeah, and he did theoretically have possession, even though he threw it out of bounds.
Neutral site game to Marquette last week. Penn State with big road wins over then number 7 Yale, then number 3 Cornell, trying to knock number 2 off today in College Park in what is a 3-goal deficit with 2:53 remaining in the 4th. Maryland asking Kyle Long to take the ball and face the defense of Jack Posey. Nittany Lions need a takeaway check. Some solid defense first. Sickler against Brennan a long way from the cage.
And I'm a little surprised Penn State didn't lock off. You got Posey, their best defender, on Long, and let Posey go to work. But now Maryland, they're going to try to milk this thing down as long as they can. They don't need any more goals to win this game.
As long as they can right now is 44 seconds of shot clock time. Chorus maneuvers away from Hawes. Cat and mouse game now for the Terps as we near the 2-minute mark to go in regulation. Chorus, the critical goal scorer for the Terps in the second half. Shot clock is now at 10. Hawes trying to force Chorus off the sideline. Shot clock's at 2. Maryland will take the violation. When Penn State comes up with a ball, they have 94 seconds left in a 3-goal deficit.
Not impossible, but perhaps improbable. Maryland did a great job of milking 1 minute 20 seconds off that clock.
Sweeney avoids the ride, hands it off to Hawes. Hawes and the Nittany Lions have to work quickly now. Malone on the sprint sweep. That's fired right to Rupel. A relatively easy stop there for the freshman netminder. And Maryland now can run and hide with Makar at the midline. Finding the open Kohler. Under a minute to go.
And we've got a flag down. It will be a slash on Malone. I was a little surprised out of the timeout that Penn State didn't double the ball and then leave the crease vacant as they're doing right now. Empty net.
Towards the cage, it's blocked. Long sent it that way. 40 seconds left in this one. Murphy has control for the Terps. On their way to win number 6 of the season. Another victory in tow over a rival in Penn State. That gave him a good game today. A really good game. At one point, we were 10-8 at the half with 19 seconds left and a whistle.
I think what we have been notified here of today is Maryland will not run away with the Big Ten Men's Lacrosse Conference in 2023. Teams are much improved, but I do think the championship, the path, still runs through College Park.
30 seconds. Hey, shot clock 60.
Waning stages of the fourth. Just 19 seconds away from victory lane for the Terps. Johns Hopkins and Michigan will be getting you there very soon. Second game of our doubleheader. Mark and I have Ohio State and Rutgers tomorrow. Looking forward to that one. Maryland took a tough test from Penn State, but passed with flying colors. The Terps, a 13-10 victor in this top 10 clash.
Terrific game. Frenetic pace in the first half. Both teams settled down in the second half. When Maryland needed to make the plays, they did. They pocket the all-important lid opener in the season.
For Mark, for everybody in our crew, Joe Beninati, thanks so much for your time. Maryland wins this one 13-10. We send you to Ann Arbor, joining Dean Linke and Jesse Schwartzman for Hopkins, Michigan.